All right, welcome to another video from the Chart Readers. Hey, if you haven't already, check out the website, chartreaders.com. Has all the videos just in a nice little format. And then at the bottom, there is a free weekly email. What are we going to do today? We are going to take a look at the crypto sector. So we're not looking at the individual coins. We are looking at tickers that kind of revolve around that sector one way or the other, right? We're going to do what we always do, right? The daily and the weekly are 5 moving averages. These horizontal support and resistance lines that I do manually draw. And then we'll wind it out with these 2 lower indicators, the MACD and the RSI. Hey, again, I like to start with what I kind of consider the bigger player in the group, the big boy, right, big girl, whatever. And we're going to start with Coinbase and go from there. So the last video I made was, I think, around the 26th. And I mentioned this kind of curve starting to form, right? It looks like it took kind of 2 wind-ups, but there definitely was some very good movement, right? Look, let's talk about this. This day right here, we definitely broke over the 8, but we did not break the 100. We obviously didn't break my line, and more than anything, we did not get confirmation the following day, right? So this, hopefully you did not bite the bullet here. Obviously, it kind of worked out for you well, but nonetheless, right? From there, we see it comes back down. Here, we get a break of the 8. We get that good confirmation, right? Again, I always want the confirmation to be above, right? And that's what we do see here. And then just a monster, almost 13% day kind of coming through today. And look, over the 50, over the 20, breaking a number of lines. Actually almost at a good channel. This is somewhat a safe channel, the 75 through 80, but really this is a good channel to trade through here, right here. You know what I mean? So again, it's also about finding a safe entry if you didn't get into these 3 days. But hey, it looks like it's looking pretty good short term, right? I like what we're looking at here. It does look like we kind of were in this tight cluster at one point, right? We're almost kind of sitting near that average. So make sure we get, again, confirmation tomorrow. And I'll be honest with you, I'd want the confirmation to open, for sure close, right? But I do want to open up here, hopefully over 75.20. Let's even say 75.25. That'd be a great place to open tomorrow on coin. Let's take a look at the weekly. Okay, so, excuse me. Where are we in the week? I got to zoom in just a little bit here. Okay, this is the first good week. Again, we've seen a good week, but we didn't really have that great follow-through we wanted, right? It started nice, but definitely closed down here, closing under the 8, and then kind of starting this little curve here. Looks like we might be doing another attempt. Looks like the RSI and MACD are looking nice, but again, we've been in this little tight cluster before, right? So hopefully it might be breaking out, but I'm going to want a second week confirmation, which we're not there yet. But hey, look, hopefully this opens positive, opens at 75.25. That would make me a happy camper for sure. But hey, hopefully you've ridden these 3 days as well, right? I'm going to move to Mara, M-A-R-A. I was actually very bullish on this guy, and again, kind of the same thing we saw, right? This one actually does look just a little better because it had less of a fake out, but I remember really liking how Mara looked. So again, I think I made this video on the 26th. I remember seeing this curve right here, and then it just, again, we don't like to buy under the 8. Don't get me wrong, right? My rule number 1 is make sure you close over the 8 and hopefully get some sort of confirmation. Nonetheless, when I see some sort of curve kind of happening, I'm at least going to start looking at it, right? But I would have for sure waited until we got over the 8, right? That's definitely rule 1. The fact that the 100 was so close right here, I like that we closed here and here. I realized it wasn't quite that confirmation up here, but hey, we did a 2-line break, really 3 if you include my little resistance here, but we broke the 8 and the 100 on one day, and we confirmed the next day both lines, right? So I love it. Even the third day, excuse me, though it was a red candle, look, we're still over that 100, and then 2 real nice days, and again a 16.25. I mean, that's a banger and a half right there, right? So there's plenty of room between the 50 and the 200 moving average, right? Those are the 2 computer generated lines. I have a couple resistances that I drew in, but this could be, again, this looks nice. This looks nice. How high has it gotten? Again, if we stay in the cluster, tomorrow might be the last good day. If we can break the cluster, look, I mean, we've gotten some high RSIs not too long ago, right? So it might want to even make that run to that 200. So very nice to say the least. Oh, let me look at the weekly, sorry. But yeah, one more time, very nice to say the least, right? Okay, again, actually the same thing we saw on coin. Sorry about that. Definitely closing over the 20 on 2 consecutive weeks. I do like that. This is the first week we are over the 8. Again, it's still early in the week, so we don't know where this one's going to close. But I like that we're at least over the 20. I'll take it. Number 1 rule is over the 8, right? So keep that in mind. But when the weekly is good, that means you're going to get more good days than bad in that 5 trading day week, right? So remember, just that's why I like to look weekly to understand how the dailies are going to look, right? RIOT, coming into RIOT. Hey, very nice. Okay, a pretty good slow and steady. Again, this was a really tight cluster right here, right? So it makes sense that it didn't have that strong break that we just saw on the other 2. Because again, when you have a cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 5 moving averages, you got to expect it to take some work to get over it. But look, really since the 26th, all we've been doing is riding over this 8, right? So making our way over obviously all of them actually now at this point after today's close. Again, not quite that double-digit banger that we saw on the other ones, but hey, still a decent RSI, still a decent MACD. Where are we on the latest cluster? Again, just a little bit under the latest cluster, but hey, if we can pop over it, this one's at least gotten closer to 70. So keep that in mind. I imagine the week, this one's actually a little bit nicer of a weekly. Again, a better take of the 20, and then again, still early in the week, but at least starting up here nicely, right? So we might be getting over the 8. Again, I want some confirmation, but I like how the weekly is looking nonetheless, right? HIVE, coming into HIVE. Okay, not as good as the rest, right? And again, this one was trading well under the 8 when I made my last video. Definitely one attempt here. Looks like my 403 pretty much caught it on the penny. Again, goes back down, and now we get what looks like a better 2-day confirmation. Still couldn't get over this 403 though, which is really interesting, right? Literally 403 is what we closed on the penny. Again, we see it right here, right? So make sure this opens at 304. Again, I don't like this tight cluster around the 425, but from 3, no, it's about 5%. There's at least a 5% gap if you play this just tomorrow. It would be safer, really to wait over the 50, right? I realize that's a pretty big gap, but hey, maybe at least wait for the break of 430 if you're not already in. So, but again, I think the other ones looked a little better. HIVE is still kind of down here, but if you're a gambler, maybe that one's going to get the double digits since those other ones fizzled out. EBON actually looking a lot like HIVE, not quite the pop that we saw. Again, it was struggling to get over the 8, unlike the rest of them, right? Again, just trading under the 8 a bunch of days since the last video. Then we see what starts to be the attempt, and really what looks like 4 days over the 8, right? A big wick move. I'm not sure if that actually was just some end of day. I'm going to go to the hour. Let's go to the 15 minute. Did this happen right at the end? I got to go to the minute to see it. I can't. The minute sucks. Okay, interesting. It does look like this was some real up and down. So again, at some point it looked like it was going to go all the way to the 50. At some point it looked like it was going to come back to the 8. Stays right here, right? So it's at least staying upward, which I like. Let's see if it can get over the 20 though. I think the 20, again, if it can get over 0.43, that'll probably be the safer trade, maybe running up to the 50. Ugly weekly, definitely the uglier weekly, I think, out of all of them so far. So EBON, be careful. If you've made some money, maybe bank it. It looks like it's been at least a 10% gain since the 26th. So 10% is nothing poo-poo. SAI, I'll be honest, I saw this thing move. So horrible crash, and then pretty much a nice 3-day run up, right? Again, I mentioned how, because I do remember I was talking about the 2 dojis. This had already happened. We'd lost all the moving averages, basically 3 days of just straight drop. Again, looks like we have a nice jump, but we have not crossed over the 8, right? And again, this is going to be a deeper resistance. Let me draw a line on this one right here. Ooh, we got over that one. I like that. That's at least really good. So maybe we do play within this channel. If we can get over the 8, if this does open over 388 tomorrow, so we're at 386. If it's over 388, I can see this running actually up to 450, which is not a bad percentage at all. On the weekly, again, still an ugly week. This is obviously the first real good week, so let's see how this closes, but well under the 8. So, hey, be careful, but a bunch of good double-digit days here. So this might do it again tomorrow. Just watch it, but I would keep my finger on the mouse. So, and then again, I recommend looking at this at the start of the day. So this is the inverse, right? The Bitcoin short. If this is going to do bad, the other ones that we just looked at are going to do good. And really, look at what we have. We have a bunch of days under the 8, and it looks like we might lose this 50 right here, right? It doesn't look like I made any lines, so let me put a line right here. Give me a sec. I'm going to put that there. I want to see where that is. I'm basically using the top and the bottom of that. Oh, we actually closed under that. And then I will put one more in this little, oops, excuse me. Give me one sec. That's my cat at the door. I don't know if you guys hear that or not. My cat wants to get out, and this is the last stock we'll look at, but I made these lines for you guys. So again, if BITI does bad, all the other ones will do good. If those other ones do bad, BITI will do good, right? But again, it looks like we might lose the 50 and work our way down. So, and hey, this weekly is starting to look like it's going to lose the 8, which is good if you are a fan of Bitcoin. So trade safely out there. I really hope you're learning. I hope you do subscribe and check out the website. Have a great one.